Hi, this is Linda and Aaron with Traveling Flamingo, and today we're in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. We're going to tell you what's available for you to go at in one of the most popular ports in the Caribbean. So in Georgetown, we're going to tell you what's nearby, what you can go to, and whether or not you should get an excursion, or if you can just wander around the port.
When you're going to Georgetown, you will anchor offshore, which means you get to take a tender, and I always find that a lot of fun. There are 3 piers you could be stopping at, but they're all within walking distance of each other and pretty much the same. So tenders do run every few minutes. It can get busy, especially really early in the morning. So pro tip, if you have an excursion, we do recommend getting off earlier, giving yourself some extra time before you get there, especially if you're meeting at the pier or at the dock. It can take a long time to get there. So give yourself some extra time. You don't want to be rushing and having a stressful start to your day. We went later on in the morning and it was nice. The tender ride itself was a bit of an excursion on its own. So, make sure you plan that you can really just sort of enjoy it and enjoy the views as you come in.
Yeah, if you're interested in photography, you can get great photos of the ship as you tender because you see it from different angles. We were on the Celebrity Beyond, speaking of ships, and I was really looking forward to using the magic carpet, but unfortunately, so far as we've been on celebrity cruises, we have never used it. I know people have, but we've never used it for tendering. We're really looking forward to it. But we just tendered the regular way, as like any other ship. So maybe one day we'll be on one of these class ships.
Yeah, they have it's advertised like you're going to use it as for tendering, and we just never have. So
yeah,
anyway.
Never have. Been on a few of them and still never used it for tendering. So when you get on the tender, you will get off at the Georgetown Cruise Terminal. It's a fairly small port for, walking around. They do have stuff like shaved ice and some local foods and so forth. So you can walk around. There's souvenirs. It's not very big, so you'll be pretty quick going through it. If you do want to get something, hop off the ship, see what's there, get something for friends and family, you can absolutely do that. But again, it's not quite sort of a manufactured cruise port. It's very much just a small little area and a bunch of different local kiosks.
So many of the excursion groups did meet there. It's nice they had a big shaded area that you could wait under, especially if you're doing a Caribbean cruise in the summer. Mm-hmm. If you didn't pre-book an excursion, there are a lot of excursions you can buy right there at the port. So that's really handy as well. I know a lot of people do prefer to do that. So they're right there in the port. You don't have to leave or go anywhere. And it is a nice area if you do have an excursion that's taking up most of the day, but you wanted to get some souvenirs or just some food that was different than what you have on the ship. You've got those options before you head back as well.
One nice thing, unlike a lot of the Caribbean cruise ports, they weren't very aggressive on selling stuff. You could just walk up and say hi. It wasn't too confrontational like you sometimes get other places. So near the port area is pretty small, but around it there's quite a bit of stuff. So if you just want to relax and do some duty-free shopping, that's absolutely available for you. There's jewelry, there's rum cakes, there's all the things you would expect from the Caribbean. There's Caymanite stones. There's also a nice mall that's not too far away. A lot of expensive shops you'd expect, like Rolex and so forth. There's lots of restaurants in the area as well. So there's the Cayman Cabana. It's an oceanfront restaurant, and it's just steps away with good conch fritters and local vibes. They also have Cafe del Sol. This is a great coffee shop if you're interested in that before and after your excursion. And, of course, there is a Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. So if you're interested in a Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, that is also there. And it's kind of like your Senior Frogs or whatever else you might go to. Definitely able to walk around this area. In the summer, it's hot. I was sweating like no tomorrow. So pop into the stores, walk around. There's air conditioning for breaks.
If you're looking for a little bit more than shopping and restaurants, there's a ton to do in the area. 7 Mile Beach is only about 10 to 15 minutes from the port, and there's tons of taxis and shuttles right in the port area, so you can get those right from there. Stingray City is one of the most famous excursions actually here. Yeah. And it's really cool. You can take a boat out to a sandbar where you can sort of stand in relatively waist-deep water and have the stingrays around you. So pretty cool. And Grand Cayman is sort of a little quirky place, but you can say you've been to hell and back. So there's a few fun different things to do there, especially to get out and enjoy the different opportunities that you have. The port itself is just really a jumping off point if you're wanting to go shopping or try one of these excursions.
We did quite a bit of walking around, and I do feel like I went to hell and back. So from a transportation perspective, taxis are pretty easy to find. Do be aware there is no Uber, there is no Lyft, so if you're relying on those, they're not going to be available for you. Also, not all taxis take credit cards, but you do want to ask what the fare is up front, because you don't want to be told it's going to be $50 or $70. So do clarify what the cost is. A lot of the ports do actually have a guide on how much this should cost you. So just be aware of that so you don't get scammed by somebody who isn't an actual taxi. But there is no Uber, there is no Lyft.
And bring some money with you, just in case.
Yeah, bring some cash with you. And they do accept US dollars. Safe, it's a very, very, very safe island, so you don't have to worry about that. You can be comfortable to explore on your own. You don't have to worry about, safety and security. Of course, do what you normally do, hide your valuables.
General street smarts.
General street smarts, but it's a very, very safe area. Do also, as any port, be aware of what time you have to be back. You do not want to be the port runner, or in this case, the last boat back to the ship, because there might not be one. So do be aware of what ship time is and what time you're supposed to be back. They usually have a placard or a sign when you leave the ship saying what time to be back, so you can set your clock for that.
And having your watch set to the same time as the ship time. It's
Yes.
not very helpful if you know you need to be back at 4 and your watch says 4, but ship time is actually 5.
Yeah, ship time and actual time in your destination are not always the same thing. Usually they are, but not always.
But they could be different from where you're coming from, and
Yes.
depending if your stuff's updated.
Also, if you're going to be tendering, tender lines can take a bit of time at the end of the day. If you're at the beginning getting off, or if you're at the end, kind of come back, it can take a bit of time. We had that in New England where it was
They were the
very
longest
difficult.
lines we
It
had.
was like a 2-hour line to get back. So do be aware that it can take a bit of time. So you can go a bit early. There is, as we said, stuff to do around the port. So you can walk around for a couple of minutes and have shaved ice in the heat, which we tried to do. The shops around are really nice. Like, we had a pretty good time just walking around the shops. There's a lot of little areas to walk in and out of. It's a fairly large area if you just want to kind of meander around and look at stores. They have your usual things like the sun shirts and so forth that change color with UV light, your Diamonds International, those things. So it's a cruise port, but there is a lot of things that you can walk in and out of. And they have some pretty good luxury shops. As we said, there's Rolex off the top of my head. I can't remember all of them, but there's a bunch of them that you can shop in and see if there's anything that grabs your attention.
So if you've been to Grand Cayman before, let us know your favorite spot in the comments below. We love hearing about people's different experience there. If this is your first time going, we hope that you found this video helpful. And if you're looking for more information about cruise ports or cruising in general, be sure to check out our channel. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch our video, and happy travels.